Hey, lovely people, welcome to episode 8 of Gathering Nature. We are 2 months strong now and so many other wonderful episodes planned. Without further ado, I think we need to go and find out what plant we are talking about today. And the only person that can tell us this is the amazing medical herbalist and wonderful lady, Natasha Lloyd.
Hi there, Natasha here from Scotland, and I am looking at yarrow, Achillea millifolum, one of my favourites. It's very hard to say which is your favourite plant, but I do really love yarrow. It's got so many properties. It's got quite a distinctive leaf identification. Let's discuss yarrow, Jaden.
Okay, lovely lady, yarrow it is. Let's have a chat. Episode 8 now, can you believe it?
Where did the time go?
Well, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it, quite frankly? And today, even more fun because we are chatting, as I've been dictated to by my partner in plants, no, I'm joking, that we're talking today about yarrow. Again, I thought yarrow was a big courgette looking like plant that you grow in the garden, but apparently that's marrow.
So, it is marrow. And we're being joined this week by Yarrow the dog.
Wow, perfect timing, Yarrow.
And now she's going to go, isn't she?
She's like, well, I've given them, leave them wanting more, darling, leave them wanting more. Oh, she's so pretty. That face.
Pretty. You like being pretty, don't you?
Beautiful
girl.
Yeah,
she's a good girl.
So let's talk about yarrow. We can talk about both the yarrow the dog and yarrow the plant. But I think people at home would be, well, yarrow's gone now. She's obviously done it a bit. So, yeah. Yarrow the plant, then. Tell me all about it.
So this is a very ancient plant that we have used for a very long time. Like a lot of the plants we've been talking about, they do go back thousands of years.
Wow, okay.
And those things were only really written down years back, not like we do now where we can type and message and all these things. Things were only really written down when they were important because it took time. You had to make the paper, make the ink. And so when things have been written down thousands of years ago, there was something significant about them.
Right, okay.
Yarrow was found in the cave of Sandahar in Iran, along with other plants, and they were dated back to 10,000 years old.
Bloody hell, wow, okay. Wow.
The I Ching, you know, the Chinese divination,
yes, absolutely.
The sticks, originally it was yarrow stalks that were used for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Please don't know you. I never knew all of this.
Well, it's got some interesting abilities other than just its medicinal abilities, which I'm sure Jackie will go into later. But yeah, it's got quite an otherworldly feel at times, yarrow.
Wow, okay. So going on like the medicinal and the culinary, tell us a bit about what you...
Okay, so... From the medicinal point of view, it's, wow, how long have we got, Jaden? Honestly.
As long as you want, kiddo, you go.
So it's a styptic. That's what a lot of people...
Oh, stop bleeding.
Yes.
See, yeah. I do that bit. I might look stupid, and I am most of the time, but occasionally I surprise.
You're doing great, don't you worry about anything. You're making me nice and relaxed, which is important.
That's because you've been on the valerian from last week.
I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Chamomile. Definitely on the chamomile.
Okay, fantastic.
And some others. And so it is a styptic. That's what a lot of people know it as. You can use it as dried powder for putting straight onto a wound.
What like all of it? Would you dry the stalk, the leaves, and
the whole aerial part?
Okay, not the roots.
The roots can be used with yarrow, and they were specifically used for toothache.
Well, okay, but you wouldn't use that to stop bleeding. You wouldn't use that as the powder to stop bleeding or anything like that.
Not that I'm aware of with the root. It may well have similar properties, but I'm aware of the whole aerial plant, and a lot of people use it in bushcraft and carry a little thing of the powder to stop any wounds from. But what's fascinating about that is it's Latin is Achillea millifolum, and it comes from Achilles' heel, and it goes right back to the Battle of Troy. And war was very different to what we have now, and people would often be injured and killed in much, much different ways than we have now. Not that it's still a good thing at all. But in those days, the limbs would go, the hands would go, and the big wounds, and the arrow would, historically, from what I've read, I've never fortunately seen this, it would be used to help stem the bleeding on big wounds as well.
In its dried form, or just in its aerial plant?
It's plant form.
Wow, okay. So I'm still thinking about Brad Pitt in Troy the movie, so you've totally sidetracked me now, but totally I'm still there even now. Okay, carry on, give me something else to go on.
You're going to change your brain waves there. So that's where its original name, its Latin, comes from. So it's been used for a very, very long time and been highly valued. It balances blood. So the idea of it being a styptic is one way of doing it. And then, but also for women, if your period is not arriving for not being pregnant or no other reason, and it's just late through stress, then it will allow the blood flow to happen for your period.
And how would you do that? You obviously just ingest it, no? Yeah.
Yeah, drink the tea and or the tincture. But you can also, if you're having a heavy blood flow, it will dry that up. Okay,
so tea or tincture would be made the whole aerial plant as well, all of that, yeah?
Yes.
How would you dry it up? As a tea or as a tea as well?
As a tea or tincture, it will.
So the same. It will. Oh, right. So it will either dry up or let loose.
Yeah. So the fancy name for that is amphoteric.
Okay.
So wherever it hits in the body, it will do the balancing part. So it's known as the balancing plant. It also opens up the capillaries in the hand, head, and feet to allow blood flow to get to the extremities.
Is that good for diabetics?
Good for diabetics and just good for circulation.
Okay.
Really useful. And also takes the strain off the heart and therefore is good for lowering blood pressure.
Wow. Okay. What about if you had stomach ulcers that are known to bleed? Would that have the same?
I would probably put in a mix, a bit of yarrow to help prevent that bleeding. But then you also want something like meadowsweet to bring about the healing of the ulcer.
Right, okay.
And why has the ulcer occurred in the first place?
So rather than using a Band-Aid, find out the cause and treat that. But yeah, I'm just wondering, because obviously, people say, well, you can't take this if you've got ulcers because, and I'm thinking if the plant itself knows what to do, so dry up or let go kind of thing, then I guess it wouldn't really be an issue if you had underlying health problems, because it would go where needed if needed kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's where plants, again, have a very interesting perception of how things work. But again, this has been used for thousands of years.
So more tried and tested than most of our vaccines and medications we're doing now then, quite frankly. Okay, super cool. Culinary.
There's a few other medicinal parts.
Tell me.
Honestly, we could be here for hours on this one.
One.
It also balances temperature in the hypothalamus in the body.
Okay.
It's also
hypothalamus, but carry on.
It's a part of your brain that regulates things.
Right. Okay.
The brain regulator or part of it.
So what would be the benefits of regulating the temperature within that?
Say for things like hot flushes.
Okay.
It's also a diaphoretic, which is a fancy word for making you sweat.
Okay. So
there was a time where I was doing a workshop and I was giving out this tea which had yarrow, peppermint and elderflower, which is an old tea for colds and flus.
Sounds beautiful as well, actually, but yeah.
It's a really lovely tea, actually, because the aromatic bitter part of the yarrow goes well with the sweetness of the elderflower. Yeah. And then the mint as well. That's really nice. And I was giving out this tea as I was doing something else, just to give them something to experience and enjoy the tea. And this lady said, "Oh, I think I'm having an allergic reaction to that." And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know of any of those plants being an allergic reactive plant. And I said, have you had a cold recently? She said, last week I had a terrible cold. I was like, oh, that's the diaphoretic part of the plant helping you get it out, sweat it out.
Wow. Okay.
She totally relaxed and went, oh, I'll drink loads of that then. Let's get rid of this. So she went from, oh my God, something's really weird in my body to, okay, let's drink loads.
Yeah. And was the funeral, was it good? Many attend.
Fine. She was healthier afterwards.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Just checking.
And then for years, also needs to be said that this should not be taken when you're pregnant because it's a uterine tonic.
Which means?
It means it tones the uterus, which is the last thing you want to do when you're
about to pop. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah, so that needs to be put in there.
Okay.
And then I had an experiment during the lockdowns when we couldn't get to a dentist. My tooth fell apart and exposed the nerve.
Nice.
And I thought, okay, I have read for years about this being good for toothache. I'm going to do an experiment. I had ibuprofen, aspirin, yarrow tincture, and yarrow tea. So I experimented with this pain to see which one worked the best.
Okay.
To be honest, it was the yarrow tea gave a longer length of time of pain-killing ability for the tooth than anything else. The tincture was pretty good, but both the tincture and the tea of yarrow were better than aspirin and ibuprofen.
Wow. What about if you packed that tooth with the leaves of the tea after you drinking the tea? Would that calm it as well?
I wasn't that brave.
Okay. That close.
It was really painful.
Yeah. But if you had, because something, I've had tooth pain with exposed nerves before. And literally, I've been chewing on like cloves and stuff like that, which it didn't really work for an exposed nerve, to be fair. But,
This really
wondered if you packed that with yarrow leaf taken out of the tea, if that would actually kind of give you a kind of a soft cushioning, but pain relief as well, kind of thing.
I think it probably would, but I didn't go that far in my experiment because it just got rid of the pain, so I just continued.
That's amazing. Then we take so. It's funny that we have so much faith in the whiteness of the pills we get from all our chemists and never even really think about what can we do naturally to prevent, to help, to cure, to aid. We just go straight to here. There's a lovely pharmacy, very cheap, called Dr. Similaris. And it's got this big fat doctor that's like it could be related to the guy from Kentucky. And there's always a big fat one dancing around outside and he's great. It's so cheap. And I would go there before even thinking about what I can do to help me from the woods or the forest or the garden or the sidewalk that's, around that area. It's really interesting, actually, that you said you even compared it to aspirin and other painkillers. And actually the winner was the tea. That's mad.
Yeah, well, when you think that, I think it's 60% of modern pharmaceuticals come from plants.
Yeah.
There are times where a modern pharmaceutical is actually preferable over a plant.
Well, I guess you're lucky you live in Scotland and live in a beautiful part of the world. I live in an exquisitely beautiful part of the world too. Watching your videos, your part and my part look identical. It's only the accent that's different. But it's really interesting that I just lost my train of thought. Well, yeah, and I guess the reason as well was because we are very lucky. We live in very nature-based areas, whereas with my mum, the only nature is a little blossom tree that's growing out of the pavement, and the nearest thing you've got. West London's different because you have some beautiful parks like Zion and Osterley and stuff like that. But in the main, you haven't got anywhere where you're going to find any of the plants. Maybe nettles is probably the obvious on the way to a school or something. There was always a nettle bush on the way to a school because I got thrown in most of them. But like nettles, you can pretty much find everywhere. But we don't have that access to that nature anymore. So
we do and we don't, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
I'm a fair amount of urban foragers in London.
Is there?
Yeah.
But I guess as well, it wouldn't be. I would literally. in the middle of nothingness. So I would probably find any plants I would find would probably be within a 2 to 3 minute walk in the forest, under the forest, around the forest, by the water, in the field, you know. But somewhere like my mum, who's in the middle of West London, you would have to be able to drive, get a bus, get a coach, and know where you're going in order to be able to find a wild plant, to be fair.
It's a very different process, isn't it?
And where you live is beautiful. Like, you know, when you're, obviously we saw your videos from your walks with your dogs, and you're surrounded by a wealth of amazing things to forage, whereas my mum would probably have nettles, and that would probably be about it.
Yeah, today I went out and got loads of chanterelles.
I look at, oh my God, I've got quesadillas on my mind now. Thank you. Mushroom quesadillas.
We'll do some mushroom stuff later.
That'd be lovely. Yeah, I think a whole show, maybe even touch on the psychedelics in another series. I think could be quite an idea.
Be an interesting one, couldn't it?
Stay tuned, kids. You'll only know when they come out if you subscribed and hit the tinkly bell. Just saying. No pressure. Do it. Let's go back to the plants. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more.
The culinary aspects of yarrow. It's an aromatic bitter, so that wakes up the vagus nerve, the nerve that goes down here to your stomach, and then that gets gastrin going, so your digestive enzymes. And if I take yarrow, I'm hungry within half an hour. It just gets really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got a kind of sagey morandum. I never say that word correctly. And then you get the bitter note right at the end, kind of grows. It's a lovely plant.
So what would you use it in? What would you cook it in, use it in?
I've been using it in an infused oil.
Okay.
To put on some salad.
You go on salads and stuff. Wow, okay.
Yeah. And then we were talking the other day about making a homemade mayonnaise with it as the base.
It sounds quite nice.
I think it will be nice. I haven't tried it yet, so it might be a bit too much. Depends what you pair the mayonnaise with.
Right.
You want something kind of sweet or umami to go with that.
And what have you actually used it for in the past, or have you never used it yet?
For the oil?
Oh, just for the oil, yeah?
In terms of other culinary stuff, oh gosh, I put it in the bitters.
Okay.
For cocktails.
Okay.
Pretty much all of those.
Is this the whole of the aerial plant as well you can use?
Yeah.
So you'll do, so the teas, the tinctures is literally, you're cutting the plant off pretty much at the root and just using it all. You're putting everything into to steep in water, or you're putting everything in, you know, like, so you're literally just using the whole plant, nothing goes to waste with the exception of the root, I guess.
Yeah, I tend to be a bit more cautious on how I gather things. So I'll take a bit of the flower and a bit of the leaf, and I'll leave the rest of the plant to continue to go to seed and gift the next year.
Okay. So
I very rarely take a root.
Right, okay.
Got to think about how nature's going to survive after we've been here.
Yeah, absolutely. And after we've, you know, taken most of it for us. As Jackie said, is, you know, and I've always done this as well, you know, Jackie said in one of her videos, always ask permission before you take. I love that. You know, like, do you mind if I have a little bit? It's quite interesting actually when I've been, you know, I've got a garden that I'm kind of growing it as medicinally and as culinary and as beautifully as possible. And so I take a lot of cuttings from plants and stuff that I see, especially for the floral stuff. If I see a beautiful hibiscus, you know, then I will go and I want to cut in. But I'll always say, do you mind if I have a little bit of your plant, please? Not to the person that owns it, just to the plant. Before I take it.
Well, animism, you know, everything has a soul.
You know, no, it's cool.
Take, can't just take. It's not right, is it? You've got to be reciprocal as well. Got to give back.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I kind of think as well, you know, like at the end of the day, I'm not taking the whole plant, I'm taking part of it. And because of that, especially if it's something like a pollinator, I mean, even here, the hibiscus, like the hummingbirds love it, the bees love it, I mean, the butterflies love it. So for me, it's almost like I'm not doing this just for me. You know, like my garden's going to be like the Harrods food halls for you kids in. And actually it's really interesting where I live. Like I live in the middle of agricultural lands. There's always beautiful insects and birds and hummingbirds going around. But you look at my garden, which is in the middle of nowhere, and you just see this cloud of butterflies above my garden.
Wow.
It's amazing. It really is like, wow, it's really bizarre. Like thousands of butterflies. My dream as a kid was, because I was always a bit of a nerd and always wanted to live in a butterfly house. That would have been my dream. Like everything would be, and I literally live inside a butterfly house now.
You've created it.
Yeah, really mad, really mad. So other uses, what else is there? What else can you tell us?
Ooh, I don't know if there's much other uses that I can think of just now. Let's have a look and see what Layla and Jackie think.
I think that's a bloody good idea. And you people at home, this is not a one-way service. It's not about us just always giving and giving and giving. You can give too. We would love to know how you use the plants, the stories, the folklore, the actual real life experiments. Have you used it in other areas to treat? We want to know about your experiences, the things that you've been taught up, the things that have been passed down from your mothers, your grandmothers, your great grandmothers. For all of these plants, put them all in the comment section. We'll be very excited to learn more, especially Nat, who is already a fount of knowledge and is always looking to add to her dossier of information on these particular plants, and I love a good read. So please comment away. I think that let's go and meet the other lovely ladies, shall we?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Here we go then. You're right, we do need to chat to our other lovely ladies, so let's do it. Let's go all the way to United States of America and chat to herbalist, photographer, healer, the amazing Layla.
Hi, this is Layla from Transatlantic Herbalist, and we are looking today at yarrow. Yarrow you can find in every state in the USA, and right now I'm on the shores of Mullet Lake in northern Michigan, and we've got a beautiful bank of Achillea milfolium. That's its Latin name. Milfolium means 1,000 leaves, so if you look at these feathery leaves, this is essentially one of its identifying characteristics. I always think of yarrow as a protective herb, and it really does look after you. Indigenously, I would think all tribes use this as a wound herb. It's a styptic, it stops bleeding. Also really good for bug bites and toothache. You can actually make a poultice out of the leaves and eat it and chew them up. I'm going to gather some of this and infuse it in olive oil for making a balm later. It really is a magnificent herb and kind of one of the staples of herbal medicine in the Northern Hemisphere.
Amazing. Now, a show wouldn't be a show without going over to the wonderful Witch of the West country, the amazing Jackie Thackway.
Hi, today we're going to look at the magical properties of the herb yarrow. I really like yarrow. It's a really versatile herb. Like all the other herbs we've been talking about magically, all these herbs have varying different degrees of magical energies for different magical practices. Yarrow's no different, and it's really good to have a collection of several different herbs, although one can, like yarrow can do several things, like a lot of the herbs we've been talking about. It's good to have a collection of several different plants, and as you get to know the plants and work with them, you'll be able to you understand which one you're being pulled to for which magical practice that you want to work with or enhance. So like all the others, yarrow has many uses. It's really good in love spells. It's sometimes added to teas, or it's sometimes added into as a powder or as an ingredient into incense and love spells to strengthen relationships that are already existing, or to attract a new relationship into your life. It's great for banishing negativity as well, and used to purify spaces. Again, you can burn it in an incense once you've dried it out, or you can just hang it from doorways and windows. It's said to be able to enhance the potency of any magical spell and rituals when you combine it with other herbs and other magical tools and moon phases and sun phases. So it's a good all-rounder to aid and strengthen any other magical influences and rituals that you might be working with. It also aids your journey to connect with spirit, which is excellent. Facilitates a deeper communication, whether you're contacting the other world through meditation, or through oracular practices. Yarrow is a really good herb to work with. People think it's really good to take with you when you're travelling, because it's said to promote a safe journey and to protect you whilst on those travels. And again, warding off negativity, and it will help to banish harmful influences as well. I really like yarrow because it is such a good all-rounder. It can also aid in dream work because it's got the psychic connection, communication power, working with your dream work and stuff. I think that will be really helpful to use yarrow, maybe in a dream pillow mixed with some of the other herbs that we've talked about. That can help us connect more fully to our psychic dreaming. So it's a really nice all-rounder. Yarrow grows in profusion in the UK and around Europe, and another good herb to add to your herbal toolbox.
Well, I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as we have enjoyed making it for you. Please, like I said in my chat to Nat, if you have any differences of opinion, any questions, any tried and tested culinary or medicinal uses of yarrow, any folklores or customs or cultural things that you've heard of, we really want to know. So please put them in the comment section of this video. Please make sure you have subscribed. Please make sure you've hit the tinkly bell so you know exactly when the next episode of JCTV goes live. Comment, share, like, love, and most of all, please do subscribe. That would be wonderful. We will see you again next week on Gathering Nature. Take care. Bye-bye.